Welcome back, everyone, to yet another week of Just Jossin. This week we are in Los Angeles. I am one half of your host, Sabrina Hanna.
And I'm the other half, Jasmine Heron. This week we're discussing season one, episode three, which is called "In the Dark." This is immediately following the episode "Harsh Light of Day," which is the Buffy episode. We are following Oz coming from Sunnydale to bring the Ring of Amara to Angel, and Spike, of course, following the ring.
And this is our first true crossover episode, right? Because we had the other one where there was like a phone call.
Mhm.
Um, but this is a true crossover. And like there's just so much good banter between like the LA folks and the Sunnydale folks on this. And I'm lumping Spike in with the Sunnydale folks at this point.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, it's just so, and it starts off right away. Like there's it's nighttime in Los Angeles, a dark alleyway. Like this woman's running from a man who turns out to be her abusive boyfriend. And this is a key thing here because we're seeing like Angel is also like he's fighting all bad because not all monsters are monsters. Some monsters are people. He's not killing the people, he's putting their butts in jail. But so this woman's boyfriend is going to kill her. Like he pulls out a gun, he's like, this is really the last time, I'm done with you now. And it looks like it's probably going to be a murder suicide from what he's saying. But Angel intervenes and was just like, oh, what, you can't take beating on your girlfriend anymore? Oh, so sorry for you. um and beats him down, and we find out that the woman Rachel has actually hired Angel. Like this isn't a chance encounter.
Yep.
um and from up above we hear the wonderful monologue from Spike narrating the scene that he is watching unfold, which is,
Mhm.
I just love it. Just love it. Spike has such good dialogue.
I
And oh, like his whole thing, like mocking Angel and like calling his car like the Angelmobile, and how he's talking again shows like Spike deeply understands pop culture, how like reference, like how he's talking would be like in a 90s cartoon, really,
Mhm.
in like Batman. um so he's clearly like a weird comic book cartoon fan. I well, I mean, vampires don't really have anything to do on Saturday and Sunday mornings, so why not watch the telly, right?
I mean, we find out later he watches Passions.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he loses his mind over that.
I can hear a kitty in the background. Which kitty is that?
That is Scarlet losing her dang mind. I'm gonna let her in now. Hang on, I'm just gonna pause this. And Scarlet's joining us now.
So we see Oz, Seth Green in his van. I'm guessing he's just finished his gig or is about to like start his gig. He says he's going to be in town for a few days. Um,
Yes.
he parks his van in front of Angel's building. And then we see Cordelia inside, and she has typed up an invoice with the
Mhm.
word invoice in big bold letters.
And she's so excited because she's like a paying client, hurrah! And but Doyle's not nearly as excited, and she doesn't understand why. And he's like, "That's not money that you're holding." And she's like, "But she has to pay. That's how our society works." And he's like, "Yeah, it also works by not paying those things." And Cordelia is just like crushed by this information.
Uh huh.
But you would think she would know because her dad wasn't paying the invoices from the IRS.
Yep.
But yeah, Oz just like walks in, and Cordelia is thrilled to see him.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea that he's coming.
Yep. It's Oz! Oz! It's Oz! Look, it's Oz! And Doyle's like, I assume this is Oz.
Yeah. And they catch up in like 3 seconds of like, how's the bronze? She asks how the bronze is before everybody else. How's the bronze? The same. How's everyone? They're good.
hmm
Yeah, that's it.
Um, and then they see Angel, and they interact with each other, and Doyle's like, are they usually this way? And Oz says, no, we're usually quite laconic, which means a few words,
Mhm.
as if
Yeah.
this is them being chatty.
Yeah, because I mean, both so no one the only person that can hold a candle to how little words Oz uses is Angel. Like they're both like, here's my point and I'm giving it to you. Okay, I didn't mean like that. Here is the gist of what I am saying in 2 words. Here you go.
And then Oz proposes to Angel.
Mhm.
He holds out the ring, and there's just, you know, the way he holds it out is so, you know, sweet.
Cordelia is very confused by the whole thing.
I'm shipping it. I am shipping Oz and Angel in the ring. Doyle,
Can
of course, is like, is that what I think it is? Um,
you imagine if they wrote their own vows? It'd be the shortest wedding ever. It'd be great.
Well, also, I'm interested because Spike was not aware that the gem of Amara was a ring, but it seems like Doyle and Angel immediately know what it is.
Yeah. Which I mean, the whole thing that they immediately know what it is a little odd. Especially since Doyle didn't get a mind splitting. One would think with this coming their way, he would have a vision. But the powers are being like, you'll figure this shit out on your own.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they know immediately what this ugly piece of jewelry is. Um, and Angel doesn't really want it. Like he's not like grabbing at it like, yes, my precious. He's more like, about that. And, Oz says like Buffy wanted you to have this.
Hmm.
And Cordelia is like, she didn't even send a note. And she's like, oh, this is one of those things I shouldn't talk about, right? Okay.
Cordelia is starting to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Cordelia has the capacity to grow and change as we've seen.
But we do see here that there's the moment where Oz is like, I had to see for myself. You guys are detectives, and Cordelia's like, no, I'm an actress, and I help out sometimes.
Mhm. And Doyle's like, oh yeah, she's quite good. And like the look on his face, Oz had to be like, so she's garbage. Okay. Although he- Oz would know that Cordelia is not a singer
Hmm.
from high school, and it's painful. I also love when Doyle says to Angel, when Angel is less than stoked about this, the ring, being like, put it on, I'll stake you, it'll be fun.
Yep.
He's like trying to hype Angel up, and Angel is just like, nope.
And so they decide to go celebrate with a drink, and um, again, they're 18, 19. Like Oz is maybe 20 because he's a year older.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
Doyle's probably is definitely old enough to be drinking, but I
but they're
also feel I feel like Doyle doesn't frequent places that really check your ID.
that's probably true.
And I love so in the morning, Doyle is horribly hung over. And Cordelia says, like, I don't think that Oz appreciated you calling him your little Bam Bam all night. But Angel does not go out with them and instead hides the ring in the sewer
Yep.
with a loose stone on the floor.
And so the next morning, Rachel calls Angel and says that Lenny was released on a technicality. And Angel promises to be right over, but and he's going to his car, but it's daylight. I'm very confused as to how he was planning on reaching her.
Unless
Um,
this is his other car that he has taken and like done the Spike thing where he's a very dangerous driver.
and like Spike shows up and attacks him um, because he wants the ring. Hello, Scarlet.
Mhm.
We have a kitty showing up again.
He's watching the snowfall outside.
And Spike sees Cordelia and like greets her. He's like, Cordelia, hi. How are you?
You look good. You look like you look smashing. Have you lost weight? And Cordelia's like, I have. There's this great oh wait, nope. But like Spike's reaction was like a genuine one.
Yeah. Like, oh hey, good to see you.
Mhm.
I sometimes wonder if maybe Spike's just a little bit lonely and wants to have some friends.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I think that's he just wants someone to watch telly with.
mm,
But yeah. So they're Spike, and when Spike is attacking Angel before Cordelia and Doyle come out, he said he had a carefully laid out plan, but he got tired of waiting.
yep.
His legs started to cramp.
He got bored. He gets bored so easily.
So my question to you, based on what happens later, I think this was part of the plan.
Mhm.
Like, and him saying he got bored because he's Angel does have a tendency to underestimate Spike.
Yep.
And Spike, while his plans don't usually work out if Buffy's involved, or in this case, Angel, um, he knows that Angel, like, he uses that against him all the time,
Yep.
like pretending that he's still in a wheelchair.
Yep. And it does. He wants Angel to come to him. He doesn't want to go after Angel. He wants Angel to come to him as
Mhm.
part of his plan. And the only way to get Angel to come to him is to make himself known to Angel.
Yep.
Um, so Angel goes to visit Rachel. He tells Cordelia to stay with Doyle because um, Spike could hunt her down where she lives and set her house on fire and then eat her.
In her entire apartment building. Like that'd be just so many well, not happy. That'd be so many victims for Spike. He would just be like, "Oh, happy meals."
So Angel is talking to Rachel, and Rachel says that one of the ways that she keeps ending up with Lenny is that she starts to Jones for him the way that he Joneses for Rock. Like she is addicted to this abusive relationship and she keeps going back to him. And Angel is encouraging her to leave Lenny permanently. Like, don't go back to him, don't seek him out, don't call him. Like you have to make this decision for yourself to like be strong.
Hmm. And he because he makes the point that um if Angel hadn't intervened, she would be dead now. Like that being said, however, you never want to tell someone that they need to leave someone, because most likely what's going to happen on average, it takes a survivor 6 to 7 times to actually leave an abuser and stay away from them. And there's a myriad of reasons for that. But what happens is if you're someone telling them like you have to do this, one, you're not helping them. You're still like it's still somebody in their life telling them what they have to do. But also if they make the decision then to stay, they're going to feel stupid and like they can't come to you. And so they're gonna like that's just works in the abuser's favor of isolating them further. However, making the point to her that like you'd be dead right now if you hadn't hired me is a very good point to make.
Seriously.
So, yeah. So, while that's happening, Cordelia is at Doyle's, and they're arguing over basically whose apartment is worse. And Cordelia makes the comment that Doyle's place smells like bong water,
How does she
which, yeah. And I was just like, Cordelia has done or has at least smoked marijuana out of a bong. Like that's what we know now.
Mhm.
And probably more than once if she can recall the smell of the water.
Yeah. Um so Doyle's been calling around his unsavory contacts. One of them said that he hasn't heard anything about Spike before Doyle even mentioned Spike. So, um,
And his friends have great names like Frankie Tripod.
yep, who's human? Who's human?
And Coriolan's like, oh, yes. Um, so Angel during all this is well after leaving Rachel's is looking for Spike. So he goes to the bar that Doyle says, "Hey, this is where the guy said Spike's not here," and he hadn't mentioned Spike yet. And
Manny, I think they said was it Manny the pig.
yeah, something a bar no one would be like, that doesn't seem seedy.
Hmm.
Um, so he goes there, starts kicking everyone's ass, and the guy's finally like, he's outside, out back, and Spike's feeding on a woman, runs away. Um, but he's luring Angel into this alleyway because also Spike could easily jump a fence.
Yeah.
Um, and Angel's not picking up on any of this again because he underestimates Spike so much.
Yep.
And there's a guy just comes out and whips a chain around Angel's neck, which doesn't like unless it's a magic chain, it doesn't really work to me.
I
Um,
know because like Angel doesn't need to breathe.
he doesn't need to breathe. How does it lock itself? Because if you just take it's not a whip, like it's a chain. Um, Also, he doesn't need he's broken out of chains before. We've seen him do it. So many things. So, we find out that Angel has now been captured by Marcus, who is a vampire who loves torturing and loves to eat children.
Hmm.
Um, Marcus is such an interesting character. Um, like I feel like either in his human life he was institutionalized at some point, or he himself was a therapist.
Hmm.
um that once the demon jumped in went "Wah." But either way he does have a background in psychology, and that's one of the ways that he wears down his victims.
Yep.
But he keeps asking Angel, what do you want, Angel, while
Hmm.
playing Mozart, which the Mozart upsets Spike far more than Angel.
Yes.
Far more, which I also think might have been part, like I think Marcus wants to keep Spike off kilter as well.
Hmm. Well,
Uh,
so I mean, Marcus, you know, is is a vampire, and Angel tries to point out to him, like, "Hey, you hired a vampire to help you find a ring that is like the holy grail for vampires." And Spike's like, but Marcus doesn't care about that. Marcus just, does the job." But that's obviously not true.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm glad they I'm glad that that was pointed out by the writers, that this very glaringly huge plot hole. And it's just that Spike believed Mark, like why? Why? Spike should not be putting his faith in other vampires like this.
I know.
He's a very bad judge of character. Um but then so Spike then switches and starts telling Angel about Parker and what he did to Buffy.
Mhm.
Like just to put the poker from the fire emotionally into Angel.
Yep. Yep.
And Angel just said, yeah, he says the line, Buffy's a lot cuter when she's kicking your ass.
Yep.
And,
Um,
and, and she's very cute when she kicks Spike's butt.
he is.
Yes.
Which I think Spike also finds quite cute. He enjoys being hurt by Buffy.
He truly does. I kind of I do I don't think that it's an accident that he picks Harmony, because I mean she's a blonde girl with a tie to Sunnydale and a tie to Buffy. Completely the opposite of Buffy, but still, like there's some similarities in geography and hair color.
Mhm.
Um, so while Angel's being tortured some more, um, Spike goes to check out Angel's place and just I love he starts like tearing apart his apartment. He's like, that's fun, but it's gonna get bored or it's going to get old fast.
Yep.
Because I'm sure he's done this a lot over the centuries.
Yeah. Um, and like Angel has endured a lot of torture. Like, he was in a hell dimension for a very long time being tortured. And yet, he says at the end of this episode that he was close to breaking.
Oh yeah, and he says it in a very funny way too. Like I, oh, one more hot poker, and I was giving him anything. The ring, your
Yeah.
mother. How is your mom? Great. Um, but so Spike does not find the ring, and what he does find is Cordelia and Doyle.
Hmm.
Um, and he tells Cordelia because she's holding a crossbow that she'll be dead before the bow leaves the crossbow. Um, and Doyle, he blatantly calls out the fact that Doyle is part demon, but because he calls him a mixie or a mixed, something like that. And Cordelia does not catch it.
Uh-huh.
Um, and which is weird that because Spike is technically a mixed demon.
Yep.
Um, so Spike he can probably smell it, I assume, on Doyle.
Probably.
I assume,
I think so because Angel was able to smell it on Doyle too.
yeah,
So it must be, vampire senses.
yeah. And Spike basically tells them, I have other things to do. Like I want you two to find the ring, bring it to me by nightfall, or Angel's dead.
Hmm.
I'm sure like Doyle has to realize that that's not entirely true because he still needs the damn ring, but it's still enough it's a motivator still.
Yep.
But they also know they can't trust Spike. So they have to come up with another plan. And thankfully, they're able to.
Hmm.
Um,
And so Spike had threatened to stake Angel earlier, and he discarded the stake. And Angel like works it in between his feet and is trying to lure Marcus closer to him so that he can stake Marcus, with his feet. But Spike gets in the way and stops him. And you see Marcus get angry when he realizes he was almost staked. Uh, um,
yeah, I mean, Marcus fell for what Angel was selling, basically. Like Angel lured him in. Um, and had Spike not saved him, Marcus would be no more. Um, Angel's a smart one. He truly is. Back at Angel Investigations, Cordelia and I almost said Wesley. Cordelia and Doyle realize that the ring must be in the sewers because, as Cordelia puts it, it's not in the toilet and it's tank and it's not in the freezer, which is where it is in TV shows.
yep.
So they go into the sewers and start looking around, and Cordelia's reaching up and like walking ahead, and Doyle quickly goes to his demon face and sniffs and finds the ring.
Yep.
Um, which he just has to explain is basically a bit of luck to
Yep.
Cordelia. Um, so they meet up with Spike, but we know they also say like, we can't just go at him without a plan. They meet up with Spike in the daylight. Spike's hiding, in the shadows.
Mhm.
And they said like, we want to see Angel, make sure he's real. Then, we don't have the ring on us, but we'll go get it for you. And he's
Yep.
like, fine. But him being in one piece was never part of the deal. Um, Once they're there, they see, Angel's not in great shape. He's been in worse shape,
Yep.
but not that they've seen.
Yeah.
Um, I think he has a poker sticking out of him at this point, right? At
I
least
think.
one. Yeah. Um, so what Doyle does is he takes the ring and he throws it. So
Hmm.
Spike has to go get it. And as Spike is going to get it, Oz comes barreling through the wall with his van.
Yep.
And they grab Angel because now there's light coming in too. They grab Angel, jump in the van as Oz holds the like little crossbows, very reminiscent of Oz in the other reality,
Mhm.
um, as a white hat, and they hop in and take off with Angel. While this is happening, Marcus grabs that ring
Yep.
as Angel predicted.
Yep. Because he's a vampire, and this is a ring that makes vampires unkillable.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, if there was a ring that humans could toss on, like you would grab that too.
mhm,
Um, so Spike and Mark, we see Marcus go out into the sun. Spike is pissed. Like he's like throwing stuff around and it has this whole like monologue about how angry he is and is like basically says like, I hope they kill each other.
mhm. And then he catches on fire.
Oh yeah, because Marcus had shot holes in the ceiling, and as he's doing his head, his blondie bear hair goes up.
Yep.
Uh, which so Spike makes fun of Angel in the beginning about the hair gel Angel uses.
Mhm.
Spike uses far more hair gel,
Pro
far more pot kettle. Like, but um, Angel tells everyone in the Scooby Mobile that they have to turn around because Marcus is
like,
into likes kids. And everyone's saying absolutely not until he says that, and then Oz is just like,
yep. Which, I mean, good for Oz.
mm-hmm.
And so then Marcus sees like a Cub Scout troop around an ice cream cart or something. Like
Yeah.
some the way that you do on a boardwalk. And he's like heading right towards them. And Oz drives down the boardwalk with his van, like right down the pier, and like, turns so that Angel is able to like do a flying tackle and take Marcus off of the pier and into the water, basically.
Well, so what they do, because Angel's still in there, so they hit Marcus with the van, and he
Hmm.
goes flying, and then like Doyle tries to fight Marcus a little bit, and that doesn't go well. But it's basically just a distraction, so they can open the door, and Angel can go running at him, catching on fire as he goes, which is not the best plan, but it works.
Yep.
Um,
I do like the fact that like he impales Marcus with the beam, like
mhm,
a time he impales him, and Marcus is like, "I'm invincible," and he's like, "Doop!" Off goes the ring.
yep. And then it's just like, dang it. Because Angel's already shown that he is more intelligent than Marcus.
Hmm.
Um, but oh yeah, they being under the pier, brilliant. With the shadows, the water putting them out, also brilliant. I imagine that would burn quite a bit. I don't imagine the LA beaches being great.
Well, then but then he puts the ring on, and I'm assuming that then heals his wounds.
I would think so. Like Cordelia's still very concerned about him, but I would think that that would heal everything. And you get Angel like looking because he hasn't seen sunlight, like been in the sun
Yep.
for a long time. And Oz is just like he's really pale. Like he's paler than a person normally is.
Yeah, like I love because Oz is talking a lot. Like
Yep.
he's pale. He's really pale, like really pale.
Mhm.
um, but you know, we kind of get this moment where Angel feels like he has not, according to Doyle, self-flagellated enough to to have earned the ring, which I still feel is bullshit. Like he could have worn that ring at night, continued to help the people in the nighttime, like, and still been impervious to stakings.
Yeah. I think he has a good point about when he says, if he starts, wearing he doesn't trust himself basically to not become like the people in the day who ignore the people in the night. And the people in the night are the ones who need the help, because people, who operate during daylight hours, they have systems built to protect them. Whereas, the discarded folks that Angel's looking to help, they don't have that luxury. That's what he's there for. That part makes sense to me. But you're absolutely correct. Like, he definitely could have worn that ring and fought crime.
Mhm.
Um, so he smashes the ring as the sun goes down. Um, and the closing scene is, because Doyle's up there talking with him, because Doyle thinks he's out of his gourd as well.
Yep.
Um, is about yeah, no, if I had had the one more poker, I would have given it all up.
Mhm. He said, I love he says that he had a pretty good day, except for the bulk of it where I was nearly tortured to death. Yeah.
Hmm.
But the overall day, he killed a vampire that likes to go after little kids. He helped Rachel permanently stay away from Lenny, or
Yep.
hopefully permanently stay away from Lenny. And he saw Oz.
Yeah.
Oz.
And he knows that, like, Buffy is respecting his wishes. But like, there's only one person in the world she trusted with that ring.
Hmm.
Like, that message alone, like, she didn't need to send a note.
Yeah. Yep.
The ring was the note.
Yes. So. Uh, so next week we are back with, I believe it is it Fear Itself? Is that what we're at next week?
I am not sure.
Um yes, yes. So next week is a Halloween episode. We are back in the Hellmouth with Buffy and Fear Itself. So-
Bless you, Cairo. My dog's over here sneezing horrendously, and he hit his little snout off the floor and looked at me and was like,
Aw.
"Oh." But yeah, thank you for Just Jossin with me, Jasmine, my dog Cairo, and Scarlet the cat.
And we'll see you next time back in the Hellmouth.